And this was all because of business, but tonight I plan on giving some pleasure.
Okay.
And I hope to see you Hooches in church tomorrow. So
Okay.
cheers.
All right.
She worked hard
And
for
so
the money.
this is why I can no longer be your doctor. I mean, like, really, who does that?
He inherited his power.
You tell him he can bring that weak to Mexico tomorrow if he wants to, and I will bury his ass. Make him the laughing stock of this entire city. I thought you didn't like you,
Fellas, you're making a mess right here.
Good morning, beautiful.
Good morning to you.
So tell me, why are you here in Chicago with me?
But how you gonna pretend that dating black men is something you just don't do, and then get mad at me and the first black man you call is Kevin? Why not call the black man you had the issue with, Jason? What the hell would you call Liberty's husband for? Or is that who you always call in times of trouble?
But when lies,
What's wrong?
What does he have that I don't?
deception, love, and lust mingle together,
Damn, a guy that knows exactly what he wants. What's wrong? What's going on, man?
That.
two wrongs has never made anything right.
Last night did not happen.
Yes, it did.
Two wrongs may not make it right, but the cost of making it even was a debt no one knew they would have to pay. Debrida Calloway, Nikita Danielle Johnson, Elisa Marie, Victoria Woodbury, Joseph Callender, Schelle Purcell, and introducing Ulrich Johnson. Schelle Purcell's Two Wrongs.
This brother was fine. I mean, he was leaning back in his chair, looking lonely, sad, kind of bored too. But this brother was still fine. I ain't stand a chance. This brother had me. Hook, line, and sinker.
If I was your man, I wouldn't let a pretty young thing like you out of my sight. Let me hold you tight. If only for one night.
But that's how it all started. I mean, by the end of our third date, Danny had insisted that we move in together. Okay, he was 30, and I had just turned 35, but I was old enough to know that I had no business rushing into a relationship with a complete stranger.
How does such a poor, simple man like me get lucky enough to find such a precious jewel? What? Buy you a damn TV? Man, I ain't buying no TV for you to be wasting your time around here watching them back talk shows. I wish you would try some of that Dr. Bill crap with me, and I'll start the blood.
Girl, you know you can't go on living in fear. I've been there and I've done it. That man is the kind that will never change. He's addicted to the power. You better get a plan. And soon.
Where the hell you been? Didn't I tell you not to bring your ass out the house dressed like that? Or did I get any mail? Get your ass in the house. And don't you ever come outside dressed like that again.
And then something cold against my face. It woke me up.
Wake your ass up, woman. I said, wake up! see this gun? Now, this is exactly what I'll use to blow your ugly ass face off. Ever try to leave me? Now get your ass up and fix my damn breakfast!
And then he burst in the room and he snatched me out of the bed. And he was acting like a maniac. And his eyes were glazed over. And then the smell of alcohol filled the room.
Where the hell is my last beer at?
And then he slapped me and shoved me down into the floor and then he punched me in my chest. And I remember telling him, Daddy, I can't breathe.
From now on, don't you touch my stuff, bitch.
And I could tell by the look in his eyes that something bad was about to happen to me. She drove me home from the hospital and she said, Geraldine, you gotta do something because Danny is going to kill you. But you see, now I had a plan, and I had to stick to my plan. Had I left and taken Danny's children, he would have hunted me down and maybe even killed me.
Tell you one thing. I'm the man. This is my house, my kids, and you're my damn wife.
With the exception of Jillian, everybody who met Danny thought he was the perfect gentleman. He was an arrogant, self-centered asshole. That is what he was. And I was at a point in my life where I couldn't stand to hear the sound of his voice anymore.
Hey, Jack! Jack! Come here, look at you, man, girl. I look good, don't I? Now, see, you think your ass slick, don't you? Because you got your ass a gun. And a man, too, from what I understand. Ain't that right, Jake? Tell you what, why don't you grab that damn phone and call the po-po-ho? You think I give a damn about a cop? I said crawl! Oh, Jack, you want it! I know you want it!
Mrs. Blevins, if you can hear me, are you all right? Daniel Blevins, come out with your hands above your head.
Dear Danny, kiss my entire fat black ass.
That face that is usually covered by her phone has finally made an appearance.
I go to Food Line every Wednesday for the hot sales.
I shop when inspiration hits.
Ooh. However you Food Lion, we make sure you get the same fresh food.
I should know how to pick
at the same affordable prices.
I pick those.
Because this is our home, and that's our Food Lion.
I go to Food Line.
Okay, we are back and we are with our guest today, Miss Schelle Purcell. That was something. Hey.
I had totally forgotten about how powerful Jason's play was.
Wasn't it? And some people if you were, let me see, as we say in theater, stage right, had to leave because they were from some kind of women's center, and when he hit you and it looked real, they couldn't take it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow.
I remember that.
but your acting were, oh my goodness. And you could tell with the applause. Michelle, did you hear those people at the end? They just went crazy for Schelle. And that was way before she's done all of this stuff she's done now. And that's what we want to discuss. To my audience, welcome to Theater Talk Live. We're back from summer hiatus, and we have our first guest, Miss Schelle Purcell, actress, filmmaker, what's all the stuff that I can say? Yeah, writer, producer, director, youth advocate, all of it. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am honored to be here with you. I remember working with you on that project, and that's kind of what started our relationship and just the leaning on each other back and forth since that time. So thank you for having me in that space, and thank you for having me today.
Well, one thing I did want to say to you is that it's great directing actresses that don't really need directing. All you have to do is mold them a little bit, send them on their way, put a little something in their ear. But
that's it. Thank you.
You've come a long way. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing, where you grew up, and about your introduction to show business.
I'm a Southern girl, born and raised Gulfport, Mississippi. I'm here now with my mom and my grandmother. We had to check on her after Hurricane Ida came through Houma, Louisiana. So grandma is here with us, all safe and secure. We went over and checked on her house today, and things are in order over there. No power still, but we're going to take care of her until she can get back. We actually transitioned to North Carolina after Hurricane Katrina hit 16 years ago. And so that's how I landed in North Carolina in that space, and was there only temporarily. So I thought, because some of the youth from my home church here in Gulfport went there temporarily, and because I work so strongly in the youth ministry here in Gulfport, I wanted to go see and whom our pastor had turned our young people over to, and had no idea I was going to fall in love with my church there at White Oak, and my pastor, Reverend Charles Tyner Sr. And it was just a whole nother love affair. And so I ended up staying there for almost over 10 years. And that's where I got into writing. Had no desire to write. I was homesick, Michelle, and I just wanted to go home. And so started writing plays and didn't know a format or anything. Just knew that I wanted to say something because I wanted to go home. And so from there, I've written like 7 stage plays and 3 short films and 2 feature films. I'm a freelance writer, a director, a producer. I'm just in it. I'm an actor, artist, no matter however you say it. I'm in this industry, and I am trying to burn it up.
So my co-host, Michelle, go ahead.
Man, so looking over your resume, oh my God, it's so extensive, but it's not going to serve justice for us to talk about it. So my question to you on today, just looking over that and just reading a few articles, like what was it like, producing your first stage play? Like was that something that you always wanted to do, or it's just something that was already inside of you? You just had to find out how to get it out.
I think it was there. I never wanted to be a writer. I could always tell a story. And growing up, I would always do the reenactments of everyone. If it was a different voice, just making people laugh. Because I tell people this all the time. I was so ugly that I had to do something so people wouldn't fight me and bully me for being ugly. So it was like, well, I'm going to be funny. So if I'm making them laugh, they won't focus on how ugly I was. It's a self-esteem thing. I'm totally out of it now.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how that started, and never wanted to write. And so I wrote my first stage play, and I let my friend Connell read it. And he was like, man, this is good. Who wrote this? And I said, I did. He was like, stop lying. I was offended that you would think that I would lie. But he was like, well, what are you going to do with it? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, we should do it. We should just, if it's a play, we should do it. Had no budget, no money, no anything. And so we both started sowing seeds, me, him, and my girlfriend, Kathy. We were our own little production company. And we did our very first stage play. People bought tickets and they came. And I was backstage and they laughed. And I was like, they're laughing. Missed my cue to go out on stage because I was just overjoyed that they were laughing at something that I wrote and people paid money. And you could hear a pin drop in those moments where I was trying to make a point. And I was like, well, now I might be on to something, Jesus. Let us talk about this.
Right.
And it went on and on. And that's kind of how it started for me.
Wow.
So when did the acting bug bite you?
I'd always been a clown. Always wanted to make people laugh and just enjoy life, even in elementary and middle school. And so when I did a play here in Mississippi called A Lie Don't Care Who Tell It. And Frankie, she always used this word tenacity. You have so much tenacity. And I was like, okay, as soon as I find out what that means, I'm going to live up to that, I tell you. And it just went on and on. And I don't think I took myself seriously or the industry of it seriously until like my second or third stage play where I had a following at this point. And I was like, oh, I can get people to come and see me. I might be a little actor.
That's right.
And then get here to Atlanta and get shut down. And it's like, you have no clue as to what you're doing. Start over.
Yeah.
But what was it like though? When you felt like you had to start over, was that like a feeling of discouragement? Because a lot of times I hear people say, I tried, I just give up. Like, what kept you going?
I think it's because I wanted to figure it out, Michelle, because I knew that I could do this. I knew that I could write, and I knew that I could make people laugh, and I knew that I could hold someone's attention, but I had to figure out how I could do it more and how I could do it better and how I could benefit from it. So that's kind of what made me stay into it, to figure it out. And I'm like, this will not defeat me. And so I started taking classes because people were like, you need to invest, make sure that you're investing in yourself. And so.
Sorry, it won't give up. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
So when I started hearing you need to invest in yourself, you need to invest in yourself. And if you're going to do it, invest in yourself.
I declined it.
Just
at least what I did. Forgive me.
That's okay.
It's okay. And so yeah, that's how it kind of happened, and that's why I didn't give up, and that's why I'm still in it, and that's why I'm winning. It's my winning season now.
Well, with acting, you really have to know the craft too, because one of the things I teach is we don't want to see you on stage acting, right? You have to be believable, and learning that is one of the things that make good actresses. And just like in anatomy, we believe that you were a wife that was abused. We didn't see you; we saw that woman abused. So, talk a little bit about your little journey at becoming all these different characters.
The hardest part is to convince people that you're not always funny. Right. For me, in that space. And so where I can make people laugh and do all of these things, could I be an abused wife was the moment that I was having with anatomy and talking with Miss Jason, and she made me see her moments of abuse, and I had to become her in that space. And at the time, I had not had any, physical relationships or things like that. So I wanted to watch the movies where these things were happening and the shows and how women acted and reacted and find their mental space. And that's how I kind of do all the characters. Even when I'm auditioning, if they give me something to kind of feed off of for that character, I do the work and say, okay, well, what show or what's the previous season's character linked to it? It's not all about just learning the words on the paper and standing up and saying them. It's the homework of it. And that's why a lot of people think acting is so easy. Oh, you just memorize the lines and get up there and do it. Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Because every time, real quick, Purcell, every time you hit the stage or the screen, you have to make people believe that you are not Schelle again, right?
Yep,
you have
totally
to make
different
people believe
person.
that you're the new character. Go ahead, Michelle. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just saying, have you ever found yourself taking on that personality even when you're off stage?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to put it down, especially if it's already a part of who you are. And the fun thing with my kids is sometimes they help me go through the process of learning the lines or being the characters or doing the homework of them. And if I live in those moments when it's cut, they'll say, all right, you're acting like so-and-so. All right, you're acting like so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, let me reel that back. Am I still in character? That's on me. I'm sorry. So, we have a good time with it. I think they enjoy the space of me being in the industry because they too get to see me be someone other than mom. So I'm grateful for my children and my family because they know Schelle. They know the silly one, the one who loves and cooks and is corny and all of that. And then when they see my transitions, they feel a little different, and it's a good feeling.
Right, like they feel proud. Like that's my mom.
Very proud. Yeah.
So since we're talking about, having your kids to be involved with you, like how did you find that balance? Raising, like the two kids, and then you're wearing multiple hats. And I know as women, sometimes we have a tendency to do that, but the writing, directing, producing, acting yourself, and being a mom, like, was it, like a balance there? Did you feel like you had to take time off from one or the other? Like, what did that look like for you?
Well, I still made the girls a priority in their activities and things like that in school, and made sure that they still had that while I pursued. And then I included them because my oldest daughter has been the casting director for many of my projects. So it's like, Bria, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. Go get this group and bring it back, and then we'll narrow it down. So it helped that I made them a part of it. And at the time, Chanel was younger. So when I was doing stage plays, she got to hand out the wristbands at the door, the programs at the door, and greet people and seat people. So the inclusiveness of it with them was how I had the balance, because they were still there with me, and then they got to see the work. And now they do their share of critiquing movies and telling me what I should watch and making sure that I'm in tune to the culture of not only watching one genre of movies and television projects. We're all in it together. And it makes me feel like I didn't have to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from stage to film, that's a transition, right? So talk to us about the first film you made.
I did a short film, and the difference is the instant gratification of theater.
Right.
You instantly get to feel how people appreciate you, and if what you did worked in that moment. Like if you wanted to try something different with an ad lib or something, in that moment you hear the chuckles or the ladies with the the things that connect us. And then in television and film, you have to wait until people start talking about it. And why did you do this? Why did you do that? I saw you in this. It wasn't my favorite. And it is very different. And so I take the good with the bad and just be like, oh, thank you. I'm still trying. Because everybody has an opinion. And if you get out there trying to please everybody, then there's just no way you're going to be successful or sleep at night. So,
right.
So you got to work with James House. Talk about that experience a little bit.
I love House. When I met House, he was being nosy. I was casting for a stage play, and apparently he was one of the stage play kings in North Carolina, child, because he came out and he wanted to know who was this playwright that was coming in town, directing a play, and had the nerve to have a tour set up for her play. So that was the only reason why he auditioned. And he came in there, and after he finished, he was like, I mean, if I don't get the part, it's fine. I just really wanted to meet you. My name is James House. I've done stage production. Blah, 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 blah. So he pitched himself at the end of his audition, and we've been friends ever since. Because Melissa Wade auditioned for that same play. He told Melissa to come, and so that he could come, and he ended up being maybe our stage manager or something on that play. And I cast Melissa. It was a big thing, and we've all been friends since then.
Right.
Oh wow.
But then you went behind the camera. How did you make that transition?
It was something about wanting to see it. When you want to see your words come to life, you just like, oh, no, that's when I was thinking about it, when she came in the door to verbalize it and then have talented actors to do it. And then you watch it and you like, that's me. I did that. I wrote that. I told her to do that. Did you see that? It's just the whole package coming together. And I'm just like, I love it. I can just do it all day, every day.
Wow, that is amazing. So do you have any maybe current projects that you might be able to share with us?
That I'm working on right now?
Just a little bit.
Oh,
yes.
We just wrapped Two Wrongs 2. We have been waiting and transitioning and praying and saving to do the sequel to Two Wrongs, and we just wrapped on that. And I'm excited about that. And there are we're getting ready to work on a pilot with one of the producers over at DTAI. I'm also working on a project here in Mississippi that we're trying to work out some fine kinks before we announce that. And oh my gosh, what else? We have 3 other things, a series that we're working on. We made a slate and literally had 15 things that we could do between movies, TV series, biopics. And we're just like, we could really be busy if we just had some investors. Let's go find some money. So that's the space we're in. But we're also a production team that can be hired. So if you need a commercial filmed or you're looking to try to do a feature film or your business needs a marketing commercial or whatnot, we're available for hire at dtaiproductions.com. If you have a budget, we can make it work.
Okay, listen, Schelle is so modest. I'm gonna read something from her resume real quick. She's been in Atlanta, guest star on FX. She's been in Dynasty, guest starring on CW. She's been in Walker, recurring role on CW. She switched before birth. She was in that movie on Lifetime. She's a woman of the moment, recurring role on ABC. Bounce TV, she was in Johnson. NCIS, New Orleans on CBS. I mean, I could just keep going on and on. This resume goes on and on. I mean, it's 3 pages. She hosts, she does commercials. Everybody's seen her in the Food Line commercial, the Miller Ale House commercial, the NBA Sports League commercial.
God is good.
It's just so much,
Yes.
And then on top of all of that, hold on. On top of all of that, you train youth. You train youth. Tell us about that.
Wait, before she gets started.
Okay, go ahead.
It was just this past weekend. We were all sitting down watching TV. I promise you, we laughed at that Food Line commercial.
Yeah.
That's how the interaction with the guy, and you're on the phone, well, I'm gonna do it from here. And we all had something to say about it. And it's so funny because when I looked at it, I was like, that can't be her. Oh my God, y'all. And I'm telling my family, no, this is her from the Food Line commercial.
I always know when some type of residual check is coming from the Food Line commercial because my inbox and stuff start going up. I saw your Food Line commercial. I saw your Food Line commercial. So then I reached out to my scene partner. I was like, hey, I think a check is coming because people are hitting me up. And sure enough, he'll text me check your account.
Yeah.
We're winning over here. Thanks, Food Lion.
So how did you get there to, I mean, I understand that you're acting, but is it like you had to audition? Did you go to an agency? Did they even reach out to you? Because, you know, we see the commercials all the time. And for those who are watching, it's just one of those questions like, how did you land a commercial?
Yeah. How did you land it?
So when I first got here to Atlanta, the goal was to get an agent because just talking with actors here, and then the guy who plays my husband in Two Wrongs, he and I developed a really, really good friendship. And he was like, Schelle, you're going to need representation. Come on down, start the things working, and then you start pitching yourself. Well, when I got here, I started working at the Actors Scene, which is an acting school here. And so I got an agent because we have this open call thing at the end of one of our seasons. And so I auditioned as well, got my first agent. I stayed with them for maybe my first 2 years here. And then another young lady that's in the film talked to me about her agent. And she was like, well, if you're unhappy with that one, let's pitch you to my agent. And I'm with Soul Talent now, and she is out of Charleston, South Carolina, and wonderful, wonderful team. And I was with her before I stopped, and she took me back. Thank you, Lord. I was just in a rough place when I was like, I can't do this right now. And she welcomed me back, and I'm so glad she did, because since my second time around with her, I was more focused, and I had begun to sow the seeds that were necessary. And their job is to submit us for the things that fit our profile. And if something doesn't, and they feel strongly about you as the talent, they'll submit you for it anyway. So yes, I have representation, and there are tons of things that you can self-submit for, but sometimes those bigger roles or those roles that will get you the attention the quickest do happen if you have representation. And I did audition for the Food Lion commercial through a self-tape. Then they asked us to come to, and Alex wasn't even with the agency. I just wanted somebody to shoot it with. I was like, hey, you want to shoot this commercial with me? And he's like, yeah. And we got a call back. And I was like, hey, we got a call back for the commercial. He was like, I know you lying. He was like, I'm be stuck with that Schelle P juice. And then we went to Charlotte, and he was like, I can't believe I'm in a callback as an actor. And I was just, doing my, and it just happened just like that. And my agent was like, well, if he can book without representation, bring him on over.
Yeah.
Right. And now he's signed with Soul Talent too. And so whenever they're looking for couples to audition, because we did so well with Food Lion, we still been auditioning as a couple. And it makes it easier, especially during the pandemic, for people to say, okay, if that's two people that are safe to audition with each other and don't mind being in close proximity, it has worked out for us. We've gotten a lot of opportunities from being looked at like that.
Like the pretend couple.
The pretend couple, girl.
Yeah.
My agent was like, we're submitting you guys. We're submitting you guys. Like, okay, we're ready. We stay ready.
So talk about your work with youth now. Yeah.
So I have a nonprofit organization called On Your Feet. And On Your Feet, Georgia actually is the first one of it. It's a teen mom initiative because I was a teen mom. And for me, it was a scary time. And there were a lot of things that, you didn't know, a lot of things you couldn't do, a lot of things maybe you can't afford. And you start out with public assistance. And for me, that program is, even if you start there, you don't have to stay there. So our goal is to provide non-perishable items for our teen parents because we know they get the government assistance for food and stuff, but diapers are $25 and $40 for the case. So those are the things that we provide for them. And then we partner with the Red Cross to do CPR training for teen moms. And we do resume building. We do the things that will journey them off of public assistance, open that space up for someone else so they can stand on their own. And that's why it's On Your Feet. And we have contacts with the military if they want to, graduate and go to the military or get their GED and go to a junior college, just helping them build that foundation so that they can, sustain a household with their children in the space of being able to open up the public assistance for someone else who may need it as they're journeying off of it.
That's awesome. Oh,
yeah. And I started a bounce back initiative too, because I wanted to go into the schools. It's called Bounce Back, Fighting Against Failure. And so when schools started opening up this in August, I was excited to start sending it out to the different principals in different areas, because I have a whole campaign for the bounce back to come to the schools. And then it happened. Every school is shutting down. They're just like,
COVID.
I'm never going to get into this school and talk to these babies. And so we're just kind of putting a pin in it. We have a whole campaign with a new artist that's creating me a theme song. And I have my whole presentation, because my brother works, he's a superintendent, and I have a lot of principal friends. And I'm like, what are these kids going through? What do I need to talk about? What do I need to base this presentation on? So when I come to the school, I can take that stuff, make it fun, make it engaging, give them some stuff to Nike gift cards. I don't know. But I just want to let them know that you're not alone. It's nothing to be ashamed of, to be behind with this digital learning, because your parent may not be equipped to teach you the things that you can't get in front of your teacher to teach you. But it's not just you. It's the whole world. So now is not the time to be ashamed. It's the time to ask for the help that you need. And that's what bouncing back is in this campaign. You're not alone. You have the whole world rooting for you and how we're going to get back to where you need to be educationally and socially to continue your journey. And that's what I want to do in the school system with the bounce back. So any school that still in session, y'all book me, because I have something to say.
But it's really challenging, right, Michelle, for some of these students to do distance learning. It's not the same when they're not sitting in front of you. It's like they don't give you the full attention. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah, I know a lot of my teacher friends, they talk about how, like the parents will do the students' homework and how some of the students, they were doing the work. But when the students would, go online, it was like they knew nothing of what was going on. So it was obvious. And this is from friends here in North Carolina. My best friend, she's a school teacher, and she's in Savannah. And I'm hearing the same thing. And some of them will fall asleep. Some of them were still babysitting their younger sibling. I'm like, these are 3rd and 4th graders. So these kids, unfortunately, are very distracted with everything that goes on around them. So they're not able to get that quality, education that they need. And it would be great, but with the way that COVID is right now, it's so hard to get into the schools. Actually, for us in our performing and fine arts department, we had to cancel all of our children plays.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's a monster.
It is. We can't bring them together. So if you can come up with something a tool that is virtual.
Right.
That way that, I don't know, you can hand it out to the schools. The schools can purchase it in some, at some point. In some form. So that way you still have a presence or a footprint into the school system.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good idea, Michelle, because I didn't think of that. So thank you.
We're going to move this along now. I want to talk about your baby, Two Wrongs. That is your baby. You wrote that, right? I mean, that's your film.
I did. That's my baby.
How it came about, and now two wrongs too. So start with Two Wrongs.
So everybody knows the cliche saying, 2 wrongs don't make it right, but it makes it even, and all of the things that we attach to it. I don't even sometimes I don't know what space I'm in when I feel like writing. Sometimes I just feel like writing, and I was like, what can I create that is so the same but different? Something that's morally challenging, but you have to choose. Something that the girlfriends have to decide if they're going to be friends, or there's betrayal. And I just wanted a big old gumbo pot of what ifs and who, what, and and that's what I had.
Yeah.
The people have said countless times, get ready. The roller coaster of that you will be on through it is amazing. And a lot of people have also said, when you first start watching it, you think it's a low budget film, and then you just can't get away from it. You just stuck there. You're talking to the TV and hollering at the TV, and to hear comments like that, and I'm just like, yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do, you know. And so that's where we are. And then I left it open to be able to finish it, and so we have finished it here in Atlanta, and the cast came back together, and we were so happy to see each other. It was a big old family reunion, because we've been trying to do this sequel for, gosh, maybe 2.5 to 3 years. Yeah. I've been talking about it, and I told them, guys, we're gonna finish it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And we did it, and it was amazing. And I'm excited for people to see the growth all the way around, from each actor, from my writing, from their performances, to the people that we selected to do our cinematography this time. I'm on a journey of growth in every element of who I am, and that's why I'm so grateful. I know the pandemic has done a terrible disservice to a lot of people, but for me in the industry, it has created so many opportunities and opened so many doors for me. And so as I pray for those who have had a horrible experience and lost loved ones, I'm also spitting out the gratitude that God has shown the favor for people to see me. And this month alone, I'm going to be on 3 different networks with projects, and I can't wait to announce them. It's my birthday month, so I'm celebrating, and it's a good time, and I'm also so grateful.
Oh, when is your birthday?
The 25th, honey. She's a Libra.
And my birthday is 26.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. September, right?
Yep, September.
I never knew that. So I'm gonna call you and be like,
that. But Schelle, your character has a affair with the pastor?
She did. She sure did. And it wasn't intentional. Now, let me just say that.
Okay, I'm going to go watch the film. I got Prime.
You dropping all the nuggets. Now you're going to have everybody be like, wait, what?
Wait, right. That's why I said it, because put that little nugget so other people will go to Prime Video, right? Prime?
Yep, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
And there are women out there who sleep with pastors. I'm sorry. Now I have to tell the truth. I have to tell the truth. I have to tell it.
And shame the devil, as they say.
Right.
So talk about if somebody gives us some tidbits. If somebody wanted to get in the industry, what are your advice to them?
Take classes. If you've never done it before, start with acting classes, and find your community theater. They're doing a lot of things online now via Zoom. Even at your junior colleges, they have theater programs at your junior colleges if you want to do theater. If you want to cross over and go straight to television and film, still you need those classes. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. You save up and save your money for Jordans and trips and all kinds of things. Invest in your craft, and don't be afraid to take a chance on you. If you believe that you can do it, do it. It's only learning and making mistakes along the way. That's how you build out who you are. I'm not afraid of the word no. I used to cry at the word no if people didn't call me back when I needed a building, or if things were out of my budget and I had to say no, and because I thought it was the best thing, and then God turned around and give me a better thing for free. I just got to a point where no didn't bother me. I welcomed no, because I was like, oh yeah, that's a no. Then the yes is right over here. So I just turned it around, and that's how I've been the most successful, by not letting a no be it for me.
Well, we tell people, I tell my students all the time, Michelle, also, like, don't say no to yourself. Let somebody else tell you no, but don't we are our own worst enemy sometimes when it comes to our own success. because we already think, well, they're not going to hire me. Well, how you know they're not going to hire you? You haven't even went out there and auditioned, right?
Yep. I offer that all the time. And we started classes this week because I also teach acting classes, and my classes are called It's Not Just Acting, and it's not. There's so many things that go into it. Public speaking, confidence building, wardrobe consultation, how to get in front of a group of people and know how to hold their attention, connecting with your peers, putting your fears down. It's all about building a strong foundation, and that too will prepare you for those no's. And you're like, thank you so much for the. I am a stickler for not letting no be the final say from man, because someone else definitely has the final say. And so that's how I've been winning.
And when you say public, let me just say this, when you say public speaking, that's one of the things that's the biggest for students should do, because when you get up before audience, and Michelle, I had a play one time, and the play was ready to go. And then this one actress had stage fright doing the play, and she could not open her mouth. She could not say anything. And stage fright is not nothing to play with. You have to recognize that you're going to have that. And one way to avoid that is to practice getting in front of people. And that's what public speaking. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, you actually touched on the point that I was going to talk about, was the public speaking part. So we're good. Oh no, we're good. You did it.
Because people can be very, very harsh and rude, especially young people. They're so mean to each other sometimes. And so if you don't have that confidence to carry the room, if you hear somebody snickering or laughing, if you make a mistake, just to be able to quickly adjust and come back through that can make or break you in those moments. And then they can have you stuck in those spaces forever. You'll never want to speak in front of a group again. I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. When I did NCIS New Orleans, LeVar Burton was the director of that episode. And it was my turn. I'm in the room. Mr. Burton had come in. We had did our chatting, and you ready? I am, sir. I'm so honored. He was like, I like your hair. And I was like, thank you. And I mean, all kinds of things. Get in the room. Ready on rehearsal? Schelle, you ready? Yes. Rehearsal on you. Forgot every line.
Goodness.
Forgot every line. I said, hold on. I got it. He's like, all right, you still in it? And rehearsal is up on Schelle. Action on you, Schelle.
Action.
Don't tell me. Hold on. Mind you, my lines are right there next to me. I didn't look at them. I knew my lines. I knew this was coming. I knew I had them all. Mr. Burton, we got through it. They fed the lines to me. We took a sidebar. I went outside. I was kicking myself. I was saying, what is wrong with you? How do you freeze in front of LeVar Burton?
That's what it was, LeVar Burton.
I feel somebody tap me on the shoulder, and I thought it was the makeup girl for Last Looks. I turn around, and it's him.
Oh.
He said, so what's going on? I said, He said, whatever this is that got you right now, in the name of the Most High, I asked that it release you. I already saw it on the tape. I know that what you can do. He immediately started praying for me in that moment.
Wow.
To have LeVar Burton pray for you, I was like, he said, now, are we done with this? Yes, sir. That's all yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See you inside. Got in there. He said, cameras ready, set, all of the stuff. He said, Schelle. I said, sir. He said, yes, sir. Action.
Did it.
Spit everything out.
Oh my goodness.
I did not miss a word. And I was like, ooh. He said, y'all thought she wasn't here. She's here. She was just playing earlier. We're going to do one more for safety. Just because we can, we're going to do one more. Schelle. I said, sir. He said, I said, yes, sir. I was in it after that.
Oh,
I was
man.
zoned out and it was amazing. And afterwards he said, I'll see you around. And I said, thank you, sir. I received that. We took our picture, child. I went in that corner. I was dancing. I said, I got prayed for Balabar.
So what episode was this so we can go back and watch it?
It's in season 7.
Season 7.
NCIS New Orleans. And the episode is Operation Drano Part 2.
Okay. Got it.
And I'm Captain Monica Brooks.
Okay, Captain.
Okay.
It was an amazing experience. Totally honored.
So your transition from North Carolina to Atlanta, can you talk about that a little bit? Because you were getting very popular. I think you started writing Two Wrongs here, didn't you?
I did, and we shot Two Wrongs there.
That's
Me, Michael Bowie.
Michael Bowie, yeah, Michael Bowie.
Yep. And we also partnered with another producer. His name is Kareem Shalon with Kanisi Films. And we came together, me, Michael, and Kareem, and we said, okay, so we're going to do 3 films, 3 different genres, and we're going to see what happens, and we're going to fly. Nothing happens, we're good. If something happens, we're still good. So we did Two Wrongs, which was a drama. Michael did Alien Savior, Earth Daughter, which was a sci-fi film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Kareem's film was Malicious Intent 2, which was kind of like a suspense drama.
Yeah.
And we did our work together. We did 3 independent films as a production company. And we accomplished something, and we all took our babies and went our separate ways and tried to figure out what was going to work in the space of production and getting distribution. And Two Wrongs 2 right now has international distribution. We're in the Latin community, and we're all over, especially with Prime. You can stream us anywhere. So,
yeah, I think I met Michael Bowie through James House. I think I was on a set one time, and I met him, and we still friends. I haven't talked to him in a while. He's still.
He saw the Food Line commercial. He texted me. He said,
that's right.
You on the Food Line commercial? I said, thank you. We all stay in touch, and that's one thing that I admire about House. He connects people. Right. He unselfishly puts people together who can help each other move to the next level of whatever it is they're trying to achieve. He is a person who wholeheartedly understands that what is for him, and sharing his knowledge is not going to cause him to lose anything, because he already knows that his path is laid out. I can't have what's for him. You can't have what's for him. So he just unselfishly is like, well, I know a writer. He'll say, Schelle, I'm gonna send somebody to you. I need you to do that thing you do. And I'm like, thank you, sir. He is so good with that.
Right.
And I just admire that unselfishness about him.
Yeah, he is great. So, Michelle, got any more questions?
I was just taking it all in. Like, it's so exciting. And it has
been a long journey, Michelle. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to offer this to anybody who desires to do anything. It doesn't even have to be, anything in the industry. If you want to start a baking company out of your home, if you want to do social media for the world, whatever it is, no matter how big or small, start it, do it, and don't be afraid to ask people to help you. At one point in my journey, I made myself believe that it was shameful to ask for assistance for the things that I needed, and I would stress myself out. But it came a point to where I was like, well, if you have all these people who say that they're there for you, make them own up to it. Ask them to be accountable in what they say and see if their actions match their words. And I found out that all I have to do is ask. Just ask. And if they don't have it, they know somebody who does. And so that's how I have been so successful. And then I pray, and I always ask God to align me with people who don't mind offering me the next step, who don't want anything back from me but to see me win in that space, and then create a space in me to where if they need me, I will be able to in turn return that favor for them. And because I'm open to that, I have always been successful in getting what I asked for, and I've always been in a place to offer someone else something that I've learned. And so but you have to be open in that space in order to do that. So do the work and don't be afraid. Get out of your own way. Leave.
That's some great advice. You know, being an artist and then being a manager yourself of your craft is two different things. And they have to mesh together for you to be successful. You know, some of the most gifted people can't get out of their own way to be nice to people, and nobody wants to work with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got any little final thoughts on that?
For me in the industry, I also had to get to a place, Ken and Michelle, where I had to stop letting people make me feel like if I had not or did not work with Mr. Perry, that I was not validated as an actress or a writer or as a director. Because when I transitioned here to Atlanta, that's all that I heard. When you get down there with Tyler, would you get down there, try to, have you been at Tyler Perry Studios? Have you done? Yes. Okay. I did. I worked at Tyler Perry Studios. I was a PA on A Fall from Grace. I did all the work. We had long hours. We shot a movie in a week. And now am I famous enough for you? Does my resume mean anything to you now? Don't let people make you feel like someone else's success validates you, because it doesn't. My resume is what it is, and it is nice, and it had nothing to do with Mr. Perry. So allow me to be in that space of greatness in the path that I created for myself. Mr. Perry's success does not validate me, and no one else's success is going to validate them through me. So don't let people make you feel like what you have accomplished is not enough because you're not sitting where a mogul is sitting in your journey. That's what I like to offer.
Wow. We've covered a lot in an hour. I'll tell you that. We have a few more minutes. So anything else we need to talk about? I was going to ask you about Tyler Perry, and it came right out right then. So we're done with that question.
Just follow me on social media. I'm at Schelle Purcell on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Schelle H. Purcell on Facebook. I've started my podcast, Love Line, again over on Wednesday nights. It's a relationship show where I'm very, very candid about relationships and how I'm a sucker for love. I really am. And just being open and giving advice and talking to things that happen in relationships, and just here for the journey of it all. I also teach acting classes. So if you're in the Southeast and you know a child or a young person or even an adult who's looking to start a journey into acting, you guys can DM me or email me at shellepurcell@yahoo.com. Mr. Ken knows how to get in touch with me. Michelle, you have access to me. And anyone who wants to book me for the bounce back while I work on this very good package plan that Michelle has talked about. If you're in school, thank you for that. If you're in school and you're looking for something that's empowering to uplift and motivate the students back into the space of learning in the classroom, y'all just hit me up and I am here for it.
Got that, Michelle? You got you another speaker for your series, see?
Hey, there we go. There we go.
So yes, and I'll be on Dynasty this month. I want to say possibly Friday the 24th, I'm on Dynasty. My episode of Johnson that's on, I'm a lie and say it's on Bounce TV. Johnson is on Bounce. Oh God, we had an amazing opening week for that show. I'm on there Sunday the 26th. And
what is that show about real quick? Because I've not
seen. Cedric the Entertainer is one of the executive producers on Johnson, and it's about brothers who are all going through their own journey in their relationship. And the twists and turns that these brothers have. And it kind of reminds me of the Kings of Comedy almost, in the respect to the characters, but in a younger generation of the things that Black men are actually going through in relationships. And so D.L. Hughley is a part of the show. Cedric Entertainer makes a couple of appearances, and I play a judge on the episode that I'm going to be on the 26th. And it was an amazing opportunity to work with this cast. They are really, really good. So I'm excited about all of my announcements.
I'm excited too. I'm going to watch this.
I'm the same way. You see, I'm taking notes. Like, okay. Yeah. So we watching this.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you for being our guest today. And we're going to leave the audience with a short clip called Gifted. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, so Gifted Hands. One day I just wanted to write something and I was bored, and I said, well, I'll just play two people. And I talked about, it was in a space of possibly domestic violence, and I don't know what could have been going on in the space of my mind that day, but I took it out on camera. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played two people.
Okay, well, thank you for being our guest, and we're going to watch this, and then we're going to say our goodbyes. Okay, so everybody mute.
Mrs. West, hi, I am Detective Green. You probably don't remember me, but I presented your husband, Dr. West, with the award that he won at the Special Olympics event last month. Sorry, you and I have to meet under these circumstances, but I'm hoping you can answer some questions for me in regards to what happened tonight at your place. How long have you and Dr. West been married?
7 years.
A great 7 years?
Yes, until his accident.
Oh yeah. That took the whole community by surprise. I mean, a man with so many prestigious awards, accolades, degrees, a community leader, and to have a car accident change his life, to have him paralyzed from the waist down. I can't imagine what you all went through. But he stayed strong and he was still able to practice medicine. And again, winning that gold medal last month, that was huge. But tell me, how does a man that they call the man with gifted hands end up dead in your home with his hands and his feet severed?
This is what his gifted hands did to me. You all call him a lot of things, but I call him a monster. His gifted hands, they slap me, punch me, choke me, they hold me down while he does horrible things to me. His gifted hands, they drugged me. And he performed a hysterectomy on me because he couldn't get me pregnant. So he said no other man would. His gifted hands, they shoved me down the stairs because I wouldn't suck it. His gifted hands held a knife to my throat because I told a man, bless you, in the elevator. You all praise his gifted hands, but you shouldn't.
Mrs. West, the abuse. Is that why you cut off your husband's hands?
Yes.
I understand that. I get it. But why?
Why would you add injury to insult and cut off his feet?
Because he can walk.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you got
That's a category there, boy. That's an academy.
What'd you say, Michelle?
Like, where did that come from? Because I'm sitting here looking all intense, like
he can walk, Michelle, old liar.
He was in a wheelchair, but he could walk to that.
He could walk.
Right.
He used those hands to heal, but he also used those hands to hurt. And yeah, that thing could walk. That's why he ran there throwing me down these stairs. He could walk. And I kept his secrets. I chose to stay. I was that wife who was there. And then I just said, no more.
But and I know we have to go. Like, that's a whole nother episode because
that sure is. That's another story right there.
There are so many women that chooses to stay and save the face of their spouse. And they're
all the time.
And being abused behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Wow.
On that note.
Right.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you for being on Theater Talk.
Absolutely.
And we'll see y'all later. Take care.
All right. Thank you all
Bye,
so
everyone.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.